You're listening to Spark TV, where we bring you daily interviews with real women in business at all stages. I'm your host, Damia Lewis, and I am so grateful to have you here. So, over the last 14 years, what do you think some of the bigger challenges have been for you in business?
So for a long time, it was the subcontractor model, using subcontractors for several years. It That was really challenging because the nature of our business is we're very deadline driven. Most of our deadlines are not deadlines that we've created; they're grant. So we do a lot of grant writing for researchers and for innovators. So they're the bigger grants, like Cooperative Research Centre projects, like ARC, the Australian Research Council, which, there's billions of dollars a year available to university researchers and to innovators in industry. So, um, innovation companies. And so we, what's my train of thought?
Oh, challenges over the deadlines, subcontractors.
Deadlines. So I'll bring in a subcontractor for a certain amount of money, which usually equates to a certain number of hours. But a lot of these bigger, more complex grants, usually sometimes there's 3 or 4 universities on them and all the admin that requires. And then there'll be 3 or 4 companies. And so we need to get everybody agreeing to what is the grant going to be for, what sort of technology you're going to develop, how much you're going to develop it, where are you going to do it, what equipment do you need, what do we need to buy, what could we hire, what are the researchers going to do? So we'll split it into research programs. I'm simplifying it here, but the actual nuts and bolts of doing that is really complicated. And it's really hard to determine how many hours it's going to take. If researchers have gone for these sorts of complex grants before, they're usually easier to work with because they know what's expected of them. But, younger researchers or those who just haven't done it as much, then that requires more of our time. But I've charged a package price, or I've quoted a package price to the client, which means we'll get it done no matter how long it takes us, but only a certain number of hours with the subcontractor. So if the subcontractor runs out of hours, that's it. They stop, and I have to do weekends, nights, early mornings, whatever, to get it done. I found that really challenging. There were times where I worked 25 days in a row.
Oh my God.
Full-time every day because the buck stopped with me.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have employees, you decide they're there 40 hours a week or 38, 19 hours for the part-timers. And they work on what is most important. And if that is getting a grant over the deadline, then we pull out all stops to do that. So it's lightened that load for me, and I have my weekends back.
Oh my God. Mostly, yeah. Which you then fill because you get bored.